In today's episode, we'll be going over the 50 greatest plays from Worlds 2025 so far, featuring the best moments from the Swiss stage, quarterfinals and semifinals.
Area is there.
All right, first inhibitor turret already down. Into the back line goes River, but into the front line goes Carrier. Pop Blossom. FBI's already down, and Ayla's going to follow. River dies to the back line of T1. It's 4 dead already, and with only Quinn alive, T1 is ready to end this game.
But I mean, there just aren't very many people here for CFO. It'd have to be a steal as now Rest looking for that angle, trying to find the knockups here. As out he goes as Doggo just takes down Quad. They're all starting to explode, and now he presses W, runs forward. Masu trying to get out of there. The axe from downtown, and he gives the thumbs up as he looks to chase out Masu here. There it is, grabs the triple, and Doggo on this Draven, looking like it won't be adding to that 10 column.
The Realm Warp Nico ultimate, beautiful.
Jojo is now pushing out alone.
They have the vision in the top side jungle to spot out Owner, and he hasn't shown on any of the wards. So I think that's what MQuave spotted, going, hang on, where is this Kiana? She has to be on the bottom side, but Jojo
Finding out firsthand exactly where Carry is. Lockdown coming in. Q-Flash goes in forward for Dorn. Pushback coming through on the Pathmaker. Pulls him out of the redemption. Knocks him down. Owner picks up the kill. Killing spree for the Kiana.
That was patience from Carrier. So long he waited in that bush. Knew that
it's like dashes away. Has that Gleaming Quill TP in. As well as Bin goes in for the counter strike. He lands it onto Kanavi. Supreme decided Talon's going to get him stunned. The Cyclone from Base 1. Jackie Lurt's already killed off on. And Top Esports just immediately turn it around. Base 1 trying to swing around with a Cyclone. But it's a Tempest for BLG. Now 2 for 2. Elk on the back foot. Knight gets caught in the Justice Punch. Elk flashes. Finds the root. Finds the Feather Storm. Jackie answers. Jackie flashes in. Jackie Love for Top Esports. Pulls it from beyond the grave. Jackie
now and quickly.
TP there for Dorn, and he's immediately going to use it to go to the base. He wants to threaten the back door. MQuave don't have great tools to respond to this. T1 just need to keep the pressure on, and Dorn will end the game. Owner with the knockup to keep things going. Carrier there as well. Rise with the Realm Warp. It's Faker and Guma alongside Dorn to try to end it all. Mirror1 doing his best to hold the line. TP coming in for Jojo Pyun. They're not going to be able to cancel it. Mirror1, Jojo Pyun. They need to make this work. They don't have the angle. Guma with a perfect spell shield is still going to remain standing. T1 move on to the top 8 at Worlds 2025. MQuave are sent packing.
Be aggressive in the early stage, and that's why I like Razork's pathing here. He's going to sneak into the backline. Supa already low, and Razork's here.
Supa at 200 HP. He has Hot Cocoa behind him, but it's not very well charged. Supa down to 100, flashes away, but Razork with a flash follow. Razork gets the second kill of the game for Fnatic. This early extra gold with this extra early power, he's going to feel empowered on.
And this is what I was saying. I love this pathing from Razork, avoiding all the vision that could potentially be set up, making his way in towards this bottom side, and Supa knows he has to push out this wave or he's going to be in a terrible spot. Fnatic use that to punish, and the follow on the flash from Razork was perfect.
And he going down, the turret's going to go with it as well.
Yeah, here's how he started it out. Good combo into the wall, and then just chases him down. The red buff here on Broken Blade, just pelting him, saves the W for the correct timing. Bin.
Up in the choke, Dyer is the only one here for TSW. A sent away again, the Supreme display. Ain't that much as Taki finds himself the quickness. He wants to dance, but Fly just don't want her as Eddie. He managed to kite this one back, and it's the best fight so far as Hero. Meanwhile, outside the Baron Pit, almost kills Inspired, but coming out of the realm, there's Masu waiting as he flashes over as well. Whippo will finish the job. It's a triple for Masu, but he's Penta a bit out of reach as Eddie tries to find him in the backline. Stepping up, Masu gets the Quadra, and Dyer, the Penta, has run away as FlyQuest style.
So, G2 with really good positioning here. And the Otacon's getting burned down, but Caps gets engaged on.
He's got an egg, so he wants to bait it in, but as he flashes in, he gets into the Herald. The escape mitigated, though, with the Herald dropping down. Caps goes into the egg, but it's all for the Otacon. It's all here in front of G2's eyes. Caps will be the sacrificial lamb, and with a Realm Warp coming in, G2 are already away. Elk can't catch up, nor can Knight, and therefore G2 will take the ultimate sacrifice as a win.
Caps, the distraction.
6-9, get onto that backline. Peter going in with the Hex Flash, immediate follow-up. He just gets burned to death by the Equalizer, hung with the counter engage, but again, the fall of damage is not there. TES split apart and divided. They They fall at the soul. The perfect secure coming in from Cuz just in time. JackeyLove running, flashing, will barely survive, but the soul will not go to TES.
Yeah, soul denied. KT, can they chase anything else down? Doesn't.
Catch out. The public execution, but for who? 369 turning back now. Cuz burned down. BDD might be in trouble. JackeyLove still sticking around, but Docdam happy to just jump in, riding to Corgi, off into the night. JackeyLove wants to turn it with the barrier, but it's just not happening. Cream trying to prep the stun. It's ready to go, but he's just waddling out.
Yeah, BDD's got this.
Left. Slow down. The big one. The triple for Docdam. KT coming alive in the late game.
Dragon, that's up for Gumayushi. And as they take it, they run away as Driver has decided to launch into Doran, but he's just an instant blocker, and T1 walk away with the win on objective.
The Rise ulti.
We are going in. Driver's going to stand there, decimating smash. Baker's down. Junja also going to help out as Doggo ran into melee and started hitting the Void Queen. Double over to Junja, and what a realm warp that was.
They were not expecting that.
And T1 felt the full fang of it.
So you'll see the TP come through, and I'm thinking to myself, the Dragon's already done. What's the point of TPing in? Maybe he can catch this bot wave. They rotate their AD carry into mid, but they notice Faker and Doran overstep trying to punish Driver, which means an easy collapse can come through. Cassio gets one shot, lands a good ulti onto Driver, thinking maybe he could trade one back. But my goodness.
Control, and so Doggo himself comes over, plants down his control ward, and just acts as a turret here on the Corki.
And it's a good moment for Doggo because you can see if that was a Jarvan, if that was something else. Hold that thought, charge on the way in. Tarzan trying to bully his way forward. Doggo already used the cleanse, locked up for a moment. Flandra right into the back line, the rest is here to respond. Doggo for now untouched. Flandra demounted and running. 5K on the Otacon. Honku popping off with the ultimate. It's a tidal wave across the entire team fight, and he catches Kyle. Crucially, but Honku about to fall. Invisible for a moment, the side step. Otacon might finish him off. It's a realm orbit coming in for the meantime, and Shanks, but he's not quite sure where he wants to be. Shanks into the back line, but it's Shanks who goes into the tower and will fall. Otacon resetting. Tarzan and AL on the retreat, and it's CFO again making their mark on Summoner's Rift, finding the fight on the top side of the map as Junja spins after Tarzan and takes down the AL jungler.
Exquisite League of Legends from CFO! On like, what, 50 HP or something? All right, let's take another look at it. They set up well, control ward in the tri-brush. Doggo here knows he has cleanse, so he can frontline versus Maokai. He chunks him. Then he Valks back to the rest of the team as they just knock up the Kled on the engage. Rest had a really nice answer ultimate, so they kite back, and Honku says, I'm not letting that dismounted Kled get away. Honku went in with the ulti, hops back out, barely past the Otacon, waits for the Otacon spell there to go before him. Then a little bit of counterplay here from the side of AL. Shanks wants to go finish Honku, but he's too deep. He can't get out of there inside the tower. And then it's just Hope and Tarzan left alive with the remnants of their...
From the Ziggs, not having a whole hell of a lot of effect. Honku ready to retreat if need be, but Tarzan knows that he needs to follow. Equalizer to split the fight. They don't have tri-bush control. CFO, it's not a great angle to start. Rest is incredibly low, but they do have the man advantage. Instead, the Drake now set in their sights. Shanks moving in. Level 15 on the Orianna. The shockwave will hurt, but CFO refused to group. Doggo waiting over the wall, calling to split the fight. Need to keep Tarzan away. 2K getting lower. Tarzan steals it, but Honku uses the Mega Blast Cone to get in. Instantly, he's suppressed by Flandra, denying the engage back in return. But AL get what they came for. They take the Drake.
Tarzan is a beast! He's able to get the Drake. They started up the Otacon again. I don't think they should...
Junja wants to try to find a way in, but AL have control of the tri-bush. That's Doggo caught out, able to flash out to safety. AL continuing to chip away at these summoner spells, but their focus isn't on the objective. Junja gonna walk forward too. They're risking so much just to attempt to steal. Finding kills back now. He's knocked up, he's taken down. Tarzan grabs another. Patience resetting on Otacon. Rest about to fall, holding onto his life. Surely AL get the objective.
Good focus from AL to go for kills and not over tunnel on the Otacon.
Small deficit. Now have the Otacon in their favor.
Tarzan with the steal. The W smite steal here. Wind becomes lightning, and Dragon becomes AL's. Braum ultimate here is pretty good over them, but Flandra's ult is even better. They chunk out Honku on so quickly. He has to immediately ult himself out, and he didn't have teleport, so they knew they had the extra advantage. They set up again.
Of course, HLE, Drake down to 3,500. Tarzan putting a little bit more damage into it. Delight gets bound up. There's your Pop Blossom. Finds its way onto 2 as Kyle has to try to get away, but the Hex Tech Drake has already been secured by anyone's legend. Viper goes on a killing spree. Tarzan goes back over the wall, and Viper goes in. The killer instinct of the HLE AD carry is ready to rip some heads off. It's a triple for Viper. It's about to be a quadra. Flandra takes one back, and Viper takes revenge.
Their life is looking pretty good, but it is Delight. Look at this 3-person combo. So Kyle goes in. He's trying to keep the Jarvan out. Okay, they get the dragon. Delight says, that's fine. I go in with my flash. I get 3 for the knockup to set up Viper here. So he got Hope initially. They force Hope's flash. As soon as Viper sees that, goes all in. They can chase on through. Really good engage there from HLE to get the extra kills, and Viper collecting all of them here, collecting all of this money. That's exactly
But it's what top esports are going for. They're 3,000 gold ahead. G2's got all 5 men nearby. Otacon down to about half HP. Kanavi and Jackie Love still putting the work in onto it. 369 trying to keep everybody else distracted. Caps goes in. Flashback out from 369. The Otacon down to 3,000 HP. The Aatrox keeping everybody distracted now, but he's got to be careful because he's in World Ender, but he's got no flash. Everybody from G2 piling in on 369. The Aatrox won't die fast enough. Sterix Gage pops to keep him alive. Broken Blade is already down. Everybody on G2 is eviscerated. 369 with one last Deathbringer stance. Rips the life out of Broken Blade and stays alive himself. Jackie Love chases forward with the auto attacks. It's an ace.
Baits them into the alcove of death. Look at this. He's just dancing with them. He flashes Caps' engage, and he's like taunting them. Please come over here. My team will get the Otacon, and I can stay alive. I have plenty of healing. Redemption comes in. They get the healing over and over and over. The Sundered Sky procs, the ultimate procs. He's on the edge, only a couple of hundred of HP, and he knows the rest of the team could just come trap them. Flowers, the alcove itself is hard CC. When you've got all of the speed, both Cassio as well as Rek'Sai. So Flandra is pushing, but HLE are forcing the issue. They want to get that teleport out. They're just going to burn.
This is a really risky thing. They're going to look to take the Baron. It is secured by Peanut, but now AL's coming in to look to take the fight. The light gets bound up here by the Tangle Barbs of the wall as Shanks is now going to be the target. Viper jumps in with a killer instinct. He's already found Shanks. Now he's found Hope. It's Viper. Fangs bared, looking to win the fight. He finally drops as Tarzan and Kyle try to fight back. Zeus and Zeka need to take down the Pantheon, and they'll get him. Kyle, the only one to try to escape here as HLE claims the Baron, and a 4 for 3.
And they get wave, but they will retain the Baron. That is critical for both solo laners. It allows you to split push with Baron later. Still retains most of the value of the buff, and they just burn through it so quickly with Viper's damage on this one. Flowers, HLE get the objective, and then the fight afterwards, they all go straight for Shanks here. So even though the ulti goes off, the EQ from Peanut already lands, and so he goes through stunned, lands the EQ, opened it up there for Viper to go through, and they barely kill him. Kyle lands the Q over the wall to finish off Viper. Would have been really bad for AL if he hadn't been able to collect that last.
Out team fighting him and earning a Baron as a reward, and Kobe, look at that in the top left.
Viper's
the
going.
Dragon timer is also just about to proc, and that's where Viper's heading.
Yeah, he's going to burn it down. And since they're going for the recall, I think he gets. Oh, wait. It's just going to be Nico support.
All right.
Just finish it, Viper.
Kyle's got to try to stop him. I don't think it's going to. Unless he Pop Blossom steals it, there's no way. He got it! Kyle with the miracle steal. The Pop Blossom to steal it away. As AL now goes after the enemy AD carry. Viper's in some danger, trying to get himself away. Tarzan coming around on the flank. AL looking for more as Zeus wants to try to buy some time for his carry. Flandra still chasing after the Kaisa. Zeka about to die as the Seraphs only keeps him alive a moment longer. Delight will be your next casualty. Tarzan takes him out with the spear. Viper still running, but he's running to the enemy base. It's a 2-for-1 that favors anyone's legend alongside securing the Hextech Soul. And here he is again, the man with the plan who went all in, and he made it happen to steal the Soul and win the fight after 3-for-1.
Oh, Kyle, he gets it. Dragging down to 76 HP, and then he can finish it off himself. So let's take a look. Viper there tries to throw off. He throws off the W, 400 damage, and the ultimate pushes him off. And during the stun there of the ultimate, turns over, finishes it. And with that Soul, that should be so much extra power for AL to finish this game out. The full chase here comes through as Fondra flashes for the triple knockup. It gets a little bit scrappy, and Zeus is able, to actually take down Hope. So there's a little something there, but majority is going to just be massively. Oh my goodness. Tabe is popping off, baby.
Living his best life. Start up that objective. Wards being placed nearby from anyone's legend. They want to try to stop this. The Otacon's already down to about half HP, but so is Peanut. Teleport's coming in now from both sides. Zeus looking to go in, create a little bit of space, put pressure onto the back line. He's found his way onto Hope. Pop Blossom coming in, but it's not going to get a whole lot done. Zeus still finding the damage, and Viper's going godlike here into the back line. Kyle is low, Flandra's down, as they will at least get a kill back on the anyone's legend side. It's Viper down alongside his mid laner as Tarzan fights back, misses the spear. It's flashed away by Zeus. Shanks comes around from the side. Anyone's legend with the huge team fight win and a 5-for-2.
Shanks comes in. He saves the day there at the end with the Cassio ult up against the wall. They're going to be able to get the Otacon. Let's look at how it started out, because you look at the top side of the fight. Zeus here goes right onto Hope, and Viper's going to follow him up. They actually get so much work done onto Hope. Zeus makes it look really good, so Viper goes in, they follow up. Peanut also follows, but then they actually take down Viper here. It is Tarzan using the Pantheon ultimate up to the top side. He takes down the Fed Kaisa, the point and click. He traversed to the other side of the map, and then Shanks makes his way all the way around. He was able to slither all the way through after dealing with the other side of the...
Using Ruler, but he doesn't commit for the time being. Duro's taking a little bit of poke, but that's all it is. A little bit here from anyone's legends. As Chovy hovers around the outside, there's the Weaver's Wall to separate. Looking for the pick. Keen separates two, but the Poppy ult will only find one. It's onto Chovy for now, running in towards the Dragon, but it's at 4K. It ain't stealable as Keen pops the ulti. The all out there. He is getting poked down, and Shanks is sending away to the Supreme Display. Will find the mark on the side, and Ruler jumped in to a Poppy with a steadfast presence. Dragon stolen, and the fight for AL taken away. Kyle, this pick pays dividends.
The fight to turn this game around, and what a way to do it. Keen on the flank is their target. They're trying to chunk him out as much as they possibly can. Shanks is cautious of Chovy on the flank. This ultimate separates the fight, making it difficult for Ruler and Chovy to get involved. Canyon goes in, he gets chunked out. Oh, Ruler also gets caught off in the Kyle ulti, so he feels confident to go into the fight. Keen gets chunked out, he's forced to disengage. Chovy gets good damage. Ruler sees an angle when Duro goes in, but then he gets knocked up. The reaction by Kyle. The Baron is secured as well. And just like
MSI, and Gen.G was able to fight back. I think you're going to be feeling a lot more confident if you're not there, as Humble Life, they know they have to take this fight.
Let's see what they can actually get done here. Like you were saying, Cloud Soul going to make this poke comp difficult to play as Chovy going to get cornered here, but gets out of the way of the bomb. They did manage to take him down in the end though, as Viper is untouched. Keen gets in there, he's in the mist looking for Zeus, but the needlework doesn't quite connect, and now it's him that has to flash away. A blast cone is going to be there for him and Ruler to stay safe, but this dragon belongs to HLE.
This one.
The beauty of these teams is nothing slows their momentum down. He stacks up the Q on the control ward, flash knock-up, follow-up. Even though he flashes away to safety, it's that engage from Delight to connect him to the wall to allow for HLE to find themselves another kill. Once Keen is in, the rest of his team just cannot follow. He's forced to retreat, he flashes away, and HLE deny the soul.
Just so hard to play for everybody except for Hansama, because the rest of G2 are going to be clumping.
The Brav
Going a little bit wide, but now he's just completely isolated himself. Flash forward with the play. Broken Blade ready to come over the wall immediately into the back line, but Jackie Love is still standing for now, untouched. Broken Blade trying to move forward, but 369 perfectly interrupts. Jackie Love shift back over the wall, now able to free fire, but Hansam is firing back just as well. Trap down, Redemption coming in. The Caitlyn needs to make the difference, but it's 369 into the back line with the triple.
Caps is gonna run for his life, but 369 still on the hunt. Even though Caps survives, it does not matter.
Oh, it right there. Hope's boomerang blade, his ricochet, bouncing through the wave to stop Gumayusi's back as Doran goes in from a ton of damage here with a Flandra. The public execution plus the flash to try to get away. Flash Electro Harpoon coming out from Doran, but no! It's Flandra with reinforcement from Shanks for the shield, for the outplay.
And Docdam, who's just gone for the reset as well, so potentially going to TP up to this fight. This is risky for a CFO.
Sleep onto Honkyu. BDD doesn't have a huge amount of mana. Grub's begun again by Cars. The flash! Headbutt pulverize! Up here to take a medal, take a prize, impaled under the tower. But he takes the enemy mid laner down with him. Rest trying to come in from the side. He's going to get slept as well. A perfect nap for KT to collapse as Docdam takes the kill. Kaiwing chased out, make it 3. KT secure the feats of warfare.
KT have woken up.
And again, it's one of these situations where CFO is not respecting the map state. You called it out, Rob. Look at the Caitlyn. Caitlyn is locked under her tower down here on the map, and we have the Ziggs, who's going to be TPing in, adding the extra man, and just beautiful play there from Peter. Uses the W taxi, and then Q flash forward out of that.
He's not going to be able to get back to this wave, like, ever.
Oh,
he does decide to do so, as now Keen could be the one to Keen had the scissors out and chops him down. It's a solo kill in the top lane.
this is an amazing demonstration of why pots are so important. And then Keen with the return damage ends up getting the outplay.
And I think Zayz was expecting to be able to burst him down when he went back in. But Keen is Conqueror stacked, and he's just quick enough with the auto there.
Well, I think flashing away allowed the time for the auto cooldown to come off, so that when he then flashed to follow up,
Instant damage? Doesn't feel like they have that anymore.
Honkyu's the timing! Decimating smash against the knockup. They don't kill the tower. Mega Inferno will go down as well as Honkyu takes a drive to his demise, and now KT can look for more. BDD with a paddle style doesn't quite clip Ginger. CFO back away.
Perfect timing on that decimating smash was just that. What a beautiful play.
Zayas looking to get on top of Chovy one more time. This dragon down to about 4.5k as Peanut goes in, finds the Glacial Prison. This time the Boss Blossom is too good, as Duro will be able to even get the kill on his opposite number. HLE falling down left and right, and it's Keen once again on an onslaught, and Viper Life Esports, he will be the last one to go down, and it's a triple for Ruler.
I'm normally not one for premonitions, but that felt very, very apt, as it's Viper standing alone. The Dragon goes to Hanwha, but the 5v5 teamfight win goes again. And look this, Canyon blocks the ultimate. They were trying to set up on Chovy. Peanut tried to glide past, follow up on the knockup of Zayas, but instead this Ryze gets to keep doing his damage. And Keen deals with the backline.
It felt like such a heavy commitment onto Chovy. The game plan from HLE was just, we have to take this Ryze out of the fight, and by funneling into the Dragon, they made it so much easier for Gen.G's AoE to do damage to the entire lineup of
turret. A little bit more damage onto Tarzan, but it's not a lot. They don't need a lot, they just need time to chip away at these tier 3s. Doran with a Bellows Breath to get through the claw. Flandra loses half his HP. The Mordekaiser's gonna be your target. Here goes the Ornhorn. They knock Flandra up into the air, but again, nobody under serious threat. Tarzan with an impale onto one, but he's about to die. He flashes away. Guma flashes in. Carry with a 3-man Paw Blossom will seal the fate of anyone's legend. Guma with a triple. Guma with a quadra. Only Flandra stands. Gumayusi finally dies, but AL will die with him. T1 will not go quietly. Board, and Flandra's forcing down the first turret 14 minutes into the game. Now T1 starting up the second Drake. They want to try to keep stacking here. Keria disengaging as AL's on the approach. T1 grouped up as 4. The Drake is down to 2,000 HP. Faker joins up with everybody. It's a 5v5. They go in immediately as Doran tries to lead the charge with the blast estimating smash, but he's only going to be beat down himself. A lot of damage on the Doran, but he is not down. Keria into the back line. The Mage Major engage from T1. Tarzan finds a supreme display of talent and making a 1-for-1 so far. But T1 have the health bars. Faker rides the Weaver's wall as Carrier's about to die into the back line. But Kyle falls. Tarzan falls. T1, they'll lose Carrier as Gumayusi fights back, and Shanks is on the run. Faker and Guma looking for a little bit more with a piercing arrow going over the wall, and Faker's ready to flash. Another rock is thrown, and Shanks is buried. T1, 4 for 2.
Once again, it's Faker in the clutch in the fight, finds the flick to send AL into everyone on T1. What a play from the T1 mid laner.
The team fights, baby. And Doran's gonna go for a flash ultimate here and just start out the fight. We're talking about the Sion value is always gonna be there. He immediately got the Braum ult and the Braum wall out, and then Faker gets that shove into the Carrier engage. Carrier charms up 4 members, and even though they sacrifice the Sion, they get such a lead in the fight, they can then go for the chase.
And the fact that Doran ends up forcing Tarzan to flash out of River sets up so nicely for T1, because your biggest worry is a massive Kiana ult in the middle of that fight. But you can't find your moment if you're not able to beat.
This Viego really needs that first reset. And there's not any like point and click. You're not paired with a Syndra, an Annie, an Ahri, anything like that. So it's just everything does your poke click.
Oh my god! Oh my god, the Mega Inferno Bomb of Doom, and Gen.G overstepping Peter with a great double pulverize onto the backline, and everything hits this time. Rest tries to dive in, but is put to sleep, and all he'll see are nightmares of KT.
I mean, we just got to see what the 2 different fights look like. The abilities hit, and there is not a lot you can do. Look at this beautiful sleep into the Mega Inferno Bomb, into the Paddle Star, everything timed perfectly there. We're gonna call it the Mega Inferno Bubble. That was looking clean. And with him gone already, BDD, he's looking like he's got an aimbot. He's just point and click.
What they want, they stall the Baron, they get you off, they then get the mid tower, and now they're gonna force T1 to come to them.
And T1 are ready to answer the challenge. Faker with a teleport ready to join up as immediately the engage comes out from Tarzan. The target is Carrier. The Shanks shield finds everybody. Thanks in the back line as Gumayusi tries to get away. He's scattered, but he's knocked down by Tarzan. Faker scrambling as Kyle and Hope chase after him. Doran's gonna be the next target, and anyone's legend have forced the world champions back.
What an engage from anyone's legend. Tarzan does not hesitate.
Ooh, 369 thinks he's safe.
Level 9 though. Ulti available, as is the flash. G2, they've got Skumon on the way, but they need to be careful not to go too soon. Root does connect onto 369. They spot Skumon now coming in. Hansama forced to flash away. 369 manages to connect with the wall. Flash forward, 2 into the wall, and here comes Kanavi! 369 playing with patience, punishing G2.
Oh, 369 is insane. He alley-oops into the wall for Kanavi to clean it up.
Reset. AL, they send Flandra into the mid lane to answer the wave, clear that one out. The rest of AL remaining by the Drake.
You have to be so careful as AL. One of these spells lands and that Hextech so slows you, it can give T1 the opportunity to chase you down. As Flandre on the reset picked up his GA.
Okay, T1, they're moving into the river. They're taking total control now. Hope wants to grab the red buff, and Flandre needs to get back out and join up with the rest of AL here for the fight. Red buff secured. Elder Drake started, but so slowly. Flandre gonna move forward, try to clear away the control ward. They're going in after the Aatrox. They set him up with the arrow. Flandre has been caught at a critical moment. Over the wall goes Tarzan. Wild Growth coming in from Kyle. Guardian Angel will bring Flandre back, but where is the damage on AL's side? Doran into the back line. Kyle is already down. Doran killed in response. T1 pushing forward. Shanks the next kill. Hope trying to kite. He needs to get away because T1 have won the fight 2-1.
Flandre is trying to reset and teleport back in. He's trying to link up with the team. The minions are here. They need to turn it. That's the teleport.
Okay, T1, they've got to understand this. Aatrox is probably their target. Flandre arrives. Solar Snare looking to lock him up. Owner taking a ton of damage. Hope is excited. Flandre's got the kill. Solar Snare on Hope, but it's not going to do any more. Flandre's going to try to get away. Goes back in here for the Q1. Tarzan wants to engage on the Gumayusi, but he cannot find him. Flandre over the wall. Wants Faker. Can't get the damage. Hope can't do it either. Gumayusi's still alive. T1 out team fight anyone's legend for another delayed ace.
T1 kite into the alcove of death. They take down AL, and they're gonna reset. The Elder is still on the table.
Wanting to try and make this helicopter work for him. If this Keeper's Verdict lands, it could be such a big deal. Chains of Corruption, he's going to start this fight as Peanut. Crescent Guard there to keep himself safe. And now the flash in, he gets under it, he managed to cancel it! Public Execution is still going to be able to find Zeus away into the backline, but the Cataclysm is there from Canyon to buy the space, and Zeka goes down! Zeus is going to follow suit, and he tried as he might, but Gen.G are going to win out, and even though they lose, the Drake might be able to take even more.
Peanut steals away the dragon, but the cost was so much. Gen.G, they're hunting, they're fighting, they're trying to deny HLE from getting back to base, because if they...
At least for now, they weren't able to kill it with the Baron pushes. We take another look at the fight.
Duro connects a beautiful hook. After Peanut gets chunked out, you're going to see it here. The disengage, the hook onto Zeka as the shockwave connects as well. Just beautiful layering of CC. The fact that Peanut gets a smite in the midst of all of that is just absolute chaos.
And then Canyon finds the ultimate, jumping over the wall as Zeka tries.
Of the victor. Faker winning the trade against Shanks as Tarzan trades with Keria and Gumayushi. T1 with control over the Herald as AL approach. Flandra's going to look for a target, potentially here for the death round. Herald down to 4K. Claw hits 2, but Flandra can't get any closer. Owner wants to take the objective. Paranoia's already gone out. Herald secured by Owner as the Ornhorn comes in, but only finds one. Keria locks up Hope. Gumayushi into the back line, and the AL AD carries already down. Owner tries to flash away. Doran in the middle of everybody, but Flandra barely stays alive. He should surely die right after the shield falls, and Owner kills him. Kyle's on the run. T1's on the hunt. Everybody on AL's dropping, and T1 are absolutely demolishing the LPL team. Tarzan tries to dig through the wall. He'll barely escape, but it's Rift Herald plus 4 kills to the side of T1.
Even Guma lived! Shanks tried to go back in to kill him, but he couldn't get the vision, he couldn't get the damage! T1 have taken control of this game!
Tarzan wants to see if he can get Faker on the way out. May get the damage down, but AL are so far away. Kerry is still in the vicinity. And T1, this composition from this position is so difficult to fight against as AL. And we see this, they come in. So you end up with Shanks trying to get access to the backline, but it doesn't really work. Doran ends up getting good value, but it's Kerry's ultimate here onto both the carries that sets up perfectly for the play, as Tarzan and Flandra just can't do enough with Shanks to carry a fight like this.
Exactly. The other side of the fight, the Mordekaiser that just ulted this Nocturne, Owner had already gotten the objective, and then Owner still lived as well. It's just T1 dismantled.
It's a summoner spell, but that's all they're going to take for now. Kanavi's the only one continuing to tank the Otacon because they do not want the debuff on everybody else on top esports. Doran making his way up through the river. 369 with a third in Tofo strike primed. Top esports looking for something here. It's Doran jumped on immediately. However, he's into the death realm. He's going after Kanavi. He wants to take out the enemy jungler. Top esports, they're trying to get him away. But as soon as the death realm ends, Carrier's quickness begins. And top esports have already lost their jungler. They're about to lose their top laner. 369 wants to go all out, but Gumayushi and T1 are all in. Hong trying to escape as Cream's got some fancy acrobatics, but he's not getting anything. T1 out-team fight him, and they'll take the Otacon.
Kanavi is given no position, no purchase, as Doran isolates him in the death realm. And after taking out the jungler, taking out 369, T1 will turn their attention towards the Baron.
Betty, as you talked about the value of one fight, and this is the fight they want.
And it's because Doran just rips Kanavi out of existence that makes it so easy. That engage is gone. Jackie Love and Hong can't actually get into the fight because they're zoned by Gumayushi and Fake.
Top Trinity Force completed for Jackie Love means a massive point of power there for the Corki, but it doesn't look like he's arriving to Drake here in time just yet. Keria wants to get away. Nice use of the pillar there. Takes Keria low, and now Owner has to flash out. Flash bubble attempt. Not going to to get anything back there from Hong. He misses that as Gumayusi now has to flash away too. It's a ton of damage coming in as Carry is already dead. Jackie Love killed in response. It's Fetal Warfare claimed by T1, but Doran's got to try to continue getting away. 369 looking for an angle, possibly. He goes to the public execution. 369! Damn, that's fine. He finds Gumayusi at the very edge of the fight to make it 3 kills to 3.
Jackie Love drives the and doesn't have a first item yet, but Chovy, I haven't finished my sentence yet, or he just gets swept, doesn't get the flash, immediately gets slammed into the wall, and again, that's with BDD not having his flash.
Oh my god, he got solo killed. Grand Starfall in from Canyon as he looks for the chase onto BDD, but BDD still has the flash, and he'll jump over the wall. They call him BDD for a reason, as he outplays Canyon and Chovy.
That is massive for the game. 2-0 for BDD. You get out the flash here, and now I think we're just going to see the solo kill one more time. He doesn't even have his ult, so Chovy must have just overcommitted to this, and I'm assuming BDD just slides in, and you're just going to get auto to death. I mean, he procced the phase rush. The phase rush expires. You cannot stand around like that. You need to be able to exit the fight. BDD is looking to take this one over.
Great use of the soldier.
So he knows he's not seen here. Still trying to be careful about this as Keria and Doran also approaching towards this Otacon that is starting to lose some patience, down to about 2/3 HP. Cream back over in the mid lane. Top Esports backing away. Remember, they still have their tier 1 turret down here in the bottom lane, and it still has a lot of health.
Top Esports knows something is up. They cannot find owner, and they know that's an issue, but it's misses on the ult.
They wanted the public execution. They can't get Gumayusi. 3-man pop blossom from Keria, and Jackie Love's dead again. This time, his friends might just go with them. Gumayusi needs a little bit more as Kanavi chases forward onto Doran. The Trundle needs the kill, but he dies to the Cataclysm. Cream locked up by Faker. It's a Justice punch to the jaw, and Gumayusi knocks him out. Triple kill for the Kaisa as Hong's a fish out of water, and T1 get an ace for 2.
Top Esports try desperately to catch anyone on the side of T1, but once that misses, the Keria finds the play. The ulti connects onto 3, but their target is Jackie Love. He trades his life to take out the AD carry, and then it's cleanup for T1.
It does not feel like LPL's day. It doesn't really feel like their decade, to be perfectly honest. And it looks like Faker, as he continues to make plays with T1, they want to march towards another World Finals for themselves.
As Canyon looks for the flank, the wall down, Cuz trying to get on the right side of it and is able to walk away. Riftail charging in to Gen.G, but isn't going to be able to do too much. Keen still looking for that flank from the top side as Gen.G continue to leash the Otacon.
Yeah, Gen.G trying to force KT's hand. They got some critical cooldowns there. No Mundo ult is massive, and they're getting zoned by the Anivia.
There's a hostile takeover. Duro will be looking for that Unbreakable. Chovy forced away towards the Tribush. 6,000 HP on the Otacon right now. Impale lands. Hostile takeover coming out as well. It's eaten by the Unbreakable. BDD flashing forward with the Miasma. Redemption's coming out as Dogdam dances around the fight. Keen forced to flash away. Perfect able to escape with a sliver of HP, as is Peter. Ruler now on the front line. He stares into the eyes of BDD and he's turned to stone. His tombstone litters the rift as KT win the fight at Otacon.
It's KT winning the fight, getting the Otacon, and they are going for the Dragon here as well. It's going to be KT on soul point, on match point, 8-1, and on the precipice of one of the most unlikely finalists in Worlds history.
And it is KT that punish a Gen.G that thinks we can make it work. Some of the cooldowns are down, but this is such an awkward position to fight. Yes, they find Perfect, but he still gets off his combo. It doesn't actually end up mattering. And with Chovy unable to do the damage, with Keen having to back off, Ruler tries to find his window, but instead just gets ulted. BDD takes out so much of the damage.
BDD has just been so stalwart for KT in this series. Moving in, flashing forward, creating
control of this Baron pit, and they might very well try to force Gen.G into a fight.
They're looking for the fight. Hostile takeover going down as Canyon has to flash away. Has a Mega Blast Cone there for him to try and escape, but there's no Fate's Call, there's no hostile takeover, there's no maximum dosage, and there's no Call of the Forge God. Will Gen.G want to take the fight? As Ael thinks it's already over, and perhaps it is for KT. Gen.G stepping forward, KT still on that Baron, 5,000 on it as Canyon looks for a flank position. The Baron, the target for KT, they'll smite it, they'll secure it. Dogdam stepping forward, dashing onto Keen, the damage on the Perfect as well, but a petrifying gaze once again from BDD. He sends Gen.G home in body bags. Chovy trying to escape, and he will manage to get to the safety of his tower.
And BDD says, I am going to the World Finals as he flashes in. Perfect finds the perfect knock-up.
That JackeyLove, even though he's got a 2-7-5 scoreline, he's 3 levels behind Gumayusi, still does not hesitate to press W towards T1. He knows that they will not turn this game around idly by.
Owner over the wall, immediately goes into the Cataclysm. JackeyLove under pressure as Gumayusi pops the Seeker, staying alive for now, needs a little bit more damage. Carrier swoops in behind him. Gumayusi's still alive. Top Esports is not. It's T1 with a full send.
T1 crashes down on Top Esports, and it will be the base that will be next to fall.
Strong members, Keen and Chovy, but it does really just feel like KT is running the rift.
Perfect with the face check, the slam into the wall. The arrow follows up, and once again it hits Chovy somehow. Gen.G on the retreat, KT will back away, don't have to go any further. They still have the Keeper's Verdict, the Emperor's Divide. They use the redemption to top up Perfect. They turn their eyes towards the Drake Soul for them. Canyon a long way away, has that Grand Starfall. Keen going to try and flank across here. Could use the World Ender. Starfall in from Canyon, looks for the steal, but immediately he's yeeted. The Keeper's Verdict finds him guilty, and Emperor's Divide knocks the World Ender into the middle. The Shockwave finds KT, but Duro dives in, and the rest of Gen.G just can't follow him. KT claim the soul, they claim the kills, and they claim Gen.G's lives.
KT is just running through the fight. Chovy's in trouble. BDD's going.
BDD can still chase him in. He's the only one left alive. Chovy stands alone as KT clean up the fight.
And that is a 5-for-1. So for KT.
Playing with no reservations, with no fear, and it is a beautiful thing to see on the world's largest stage. Look at the timing. He's not even there for a moment, then BDD says that is not enough. We will take even more. Ends the world of Keen and just keeps the pressure going.
And there's not enough damage. Rula doesn't even have a second item. Chovy's Shockwave is only set up for a play that never comes. And Gen.G are staring down a roller coaster of all the teams. All these years of this organization, so many have tried and so many have failed. And it really...
But Top Esports cannot escape the nightmare that is T1. It was a 2 versus 1 that turned into a 4 versus 2 as Faker Zonya's.
Faker walks right towards the brush, but he's got the reaction time. Top Esports wanted to find their moment. Carrier's wrapping around from the side. He wants to cut off the escape. Pop Blossom on 2. Doran chasing after Hong as JackeyLove is dead again. And Doran cuts the enemy support down. Only Kanavi is alive to tell the tale. And T1's got a 5,000 gold lead.
Images of 2023 and Faker on this Galio must be in the heads of 369 and Kanavi, because they attack the side lane, they get caught. They attack the jungle, they get caught. And T1 look like they're about to take over once again.
Faker face checks, but the reaction speed, I mean, is still exquisite. Carrier leveraging the clones as he often does, drawing that focus, allowing him to find an angle that Top Esports did not expect. JackeyLove, similar to what we've seen in this entire game, is locked down and shut out, and T1 are looking to go match point in this best of 5.
BDD once again is on the flank.
Yeah, BDD looking for the flank, but Perfect already got low, and Cuz has no ult now. Chovy just controlling that space beautifully. Gen.G have a chance here. They're trying to buy time for the Orin to TP back.
It's the last stand here from Gen.G, desperately trying not to give it over, but there we go, Orin's back. His cooldown still available.
Chovy on the flank, Blast Cone down, Cuz cleansed away with them. Mikhail's Canyon in the pit, Cuz has to flash. As they look for the engaged Canyon going in, Cuz in the middle of the pit as well. The redemption coming out from Gen.G. Cuz trying to get out of that obsession. The morning mist landing on towards the backline. The Elder down to 7,000. Good stun coming out. The corner of the port got Duro blocks it. Glacial Fisher out as well. The Elder secured as KT. They get it, and Dogdam it's flashing forward. Ruler rules no longer. KT clean up the fight, and now march down mid.
And KT! I can't believe it! The roller coaster is not done yet! Peter was right! We're going up, up, up!
In the most unbelievable World Semis, no one thought they could do it. KT, all the years, all the tears, all the fears forgotten. It is one step closer to the promised land. As we see no defense available for Gen.G. KT are going to finals!